Okay, so today I'm going to work on one of my UFOs. I'm going to work on my little pink quilt here. The first thing that I need to do, I just need to quilt this and put the binding on it, and so I am looking at my different colors of thread here to see which one I really want. I'm going to use a light pink, so it is going to show on the back, which is a very bright fuchsia. I don't want it to be super prominent on the front, but it is going to show, so I'm just trying to figure out which color I like the best. This one is definitely more than I want, so we will get that one out of the way. Not sure with the others. I think this one's I thought I'd like this one the best, but I think it's a little more of the, I don't know, a little more pink than I want showing. So these are all kind of lighter. These two are lighter. This one shows a little more pink. But I think I kind of like this one, because like I said, it's going to show anyway. I think this one will be gone. So it's just a matter of, do I want it to show a little more with the pink color? And yeah, I think I like this one with it. I guess I should see what it looks like on the back too. Doesn't really make much difference. It's just very, very prominent. So I think we're going to go with that color. I think it matches the pink that's in here better. I'm going to get my sewing machine set up, and then I'm going to get started quilting. Okay, so for starting to quilt this, I'm going to use my walking foot to start, and I'm just going to kind of stabilize. I'm going to go around the borders and then around each block so that it's basically quilted. Then I'm going to free motion quilt around the flowers, and I think I'm going to do a straight line also further in, but I'm going to wait till I get done with the rest of it to decide. So anyway, I need my quilting gloves. Get my thread pulled up. And then I'm just going to stitch in the ditch as we go around. Better make sure I put my foot down though. Okay, there we go for one round. And instead of actually like starting and stopping my thread, I'm just going to pull some out, and I'm going to, I'm going to move down further so I have extra there to tie off ends. But that way I don't have to actually start all over again. Oh, except for I need that thread to be under my foot, not over my foot, or else that's going to cause me a problem. There we go. So now I'm thinking, if I had been smart, what I should have done was to move my thread and start here, and then as I came back around I could just go that way without having to start and stop that. But I guess I can do the same thing I did before and just scooch over. And then I'll go down this way, probably turn and come back, and then I'll have to go that way to do those, and then that will be basically stabilized. That's how it's looking on the back. I did look at the time as I started, and it was like 11:30. I'm really curious to see how long it takes me to actually quilt this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be I can't believe this has been sitting here for that many years and I had just that little bit to do. But that's how UFOs happen. I mean, you have something else that needs to be done, and it doesn't sometimes matter how fast something would be to finish. You just keep working on the other things and it gets set aside, and then you don't think about it. And then when you do, you're like, huh, that's all it took, huh? I'm not going to beat myself up for it, though. It's just what it is. And I'm getting them done now, which is better than not. They say finished is better than perfect, and I would also say later is better than never. This is definitely poofier batting than I would do if I was just picking batting for my quilt top. This is stuff that I had left over. You know, I was trying to use up old random bits of batting, and I'm guessing this is probably from the 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't know. It's like very poofy polyester batting, I think, but it used it up. And this is a wall hanging, and I don't have specific plans for it, so it's what it is. This is part of the done is better than perfect. Okay, so now we'll start and stop that thread, or stop that thread. And then we will start here, start another one, so we can go down and around back there. Okay, so let's look at the back. So you can see I have the main borders done for the quilt. That quilting is going to show up really, really prominently. So now I'm going to cut these ends to make sure that they are out of the way when I do my free motion quilting. And then I will change my foot, get my machine set up for free motion quilting, and then we will start on that. Okay, now I'm ready to do the free motion quilting. Wow, that is very puffy. I kind of want to go actually closer in there, but I'm afraid of getting in there too close. I don't know, I'll try it on another one. So I think that I will try in this one, I will try coming down like actually a lot closer to it and see if I like that better. And then I'll probably end up redoing one or the other, but then I'll have a better idea what I actually like. But I think that's super poofy. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, the problem with getting closer is that then the foot is like pushing up against the stitching and it's pushing up against the applique, and I'm not sure I want it done like that. So maybe I will just leave them poofy. Trying to imagine what it will look like, you know, across the room where you would see it from, especially if I have other quilting kind of going around. Just make the flowers stand out. Well, I think it probably does look better with it stitched closer. But this is much tighter in here than this was in here. So I might just come back here and do a little whoopee. I don't feel like I could have got that one a whole lot closer though. So I guess we'll just kind of wing it on the other two and see how they turn out. I'm not sure I'm going to redo anything I've already done. Unless it's just looking vastly different so that it looks like it doesn't belong on the same quilt, and I don't think that's going to be the case. Yep, I like that better. Looks pretty because then the flower stands out by itself. That's just kind of the whole thing, background and all, not just the flower. Okay, definitely looks better with it stitched closer all the way around. That looks really nice. So the question is, can I just like do a little, add a little? Do I need to actually redo so I'm following the curve more? Or do I just put a little more in there? I really don't want to take this out and do it all over again. Okay, this one at least. This one I feel like I can come here and I can just add a little bit in these three places. So I think this one will be fine. I just need to add more. I'm just not sure about that one. And we might as well do this one because we know this one's going to be okay. Can be a lot of starting and stopping here in this one little area, but it'll make it look better, so it's gonna be worth it, right? I think that's one of the tricky parts about quilting, both like actually quilting or just making quilts, is trying to figure out when your mistakes matter enough to fix them, because there's a lot of mistakes that don't. My normal philosophy is, if I'm going to look at this and every time I look at it I'm going to see this particular spot and it's going to bug me, then I'm going to fix it. If I'm not going to particularly notice it, I'm probably just going to leave it. I feel differently about that if I didn't have my backlog of so many really old projects and UFOs, but I'm gonna have a hard enough time getting them done anyway. If I stop to try to make everything perfect, I'm never gonna get them done. I think that if I do fill in some of this area, it's not going to look quite as good as the others, but I think it's going to be close enough that it won't stand out terribly, and then it'll still be done. Because like this one isn't as close as these two, but I don't think it's noticeable unless you're actually looking at it. And I think mostly you'll look at the wall and you'll be like, oh, what pretty pink flowers, pink and red flowers. You won't be like, oh, that looks different. So I think this is one of the mistakes that I will fix, I will improve on, but I'm not going to take it out and redo the whole thing. So we will just fill in some of this space here. Call it good. I guess if I fill in the space and then I look at it and don't like it, then I'll have to worry about taking it out. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure it's not. Shouldn't have said anything about my nice even stitches. Those were not so great. So definitely give me a lot more stopping and starting ends to tie off, but that's okay. It'll look better. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just go in from there. Okay, so my quilting is done. Oh yeah, I need to decide if I'm going to do that other outline. Let's see. It is almost 12:30, so it's been almost an hour for me to do this. I think that I'm going to stop and get these ends tied off so that that's out of the way, because that is just messy. It makes it hard to look at it and know for sure, but I think I have no idea. That's what I think. So I'm going to get those ends tied off, and then I'm going to look at it and I'm going to decide, do I do another square in there or not? So I'll be back and then we'll see what we're doing. It's got all the loose ends tied off, and looking at it, I do think that yes, it does need a little more quilting. Keith agreed with me. So we're going to I'm going to use I switched back to my walking foot, and I think I'm going to stitch about 1/2 inch from the edge all the way around the square. I'm not starting in the corner because I'm going to use the edge of my walking foot as my guide, and so it would be harder to know from the corner like where exactly I'm supposed to start. So I'm going to start in the middle of the block. And then we'll just go around it. There's my little scissors. And as I come up to the corner, I think it's that spot on my walking foot right there, which will tell me that's where I need to stop and pivot. I think that looks lovely. I might even do another little line. It just kind of makes a frame around it. Happy with that. It's always nice when you have an idea and you're like, I think this will work. I think it'll look good. And then you do it and it's like, oh, it actually did. Yay. I think this flower looks like it's much closer. It goes out further. So if I did another line, I think I would run into it. So maybe just a single frame and not a double. Okay, so the quilting is done. I like how that does make a little frame around them. And let's see from the back. Some fuzzies there. So now I need to do the binding, a hanging sleeve, and a label. I need to check my little project box. I don't believe that I had already cut binding out, but I may have. So I'm gonna go check that and see. Probably done for today, so that'll probably be the next day I work on it. I'll see if I can get it all finished up, but I think I've been working, I forgot to check the time. So I did just about an hour for the first part of the quilting. I'd say probably 30 to maybe 40 minutes tying off little ends and trimming stuff. And this obviously was just another few minutes. So 2 hours tops is what I've been working. So pretty quick. It's really funny because you can finish a quilt top and you can have it ready to go and you can think, I really, really like that quilt. Something about getting the quilting done just gives it more life and just makes you go, wow, that looks even better than I thought. It's one of those funny things in life, I guess. So I'm back with my little woolly flowers quilt, my little UFO. I have been doing some work. My battery was dead on my camera here, so I couldn't video, but I have made a little label. I made my little hanging sleeve thingies, and I made binding. It's tricky because even though this quilt isn't very old compared to most of my UFOs, it's like 4 years old, I did not have any more of this fabric. Well, I had some more, but it was tiny, tiny amounts. So I found the blacks that I did have because I didn't want to use pink as the binding. I wanted the black. And anyway, this is the one that Keith chose. So that's what I'm doing. So right now I am stitching this to the back. I'm almost all the way around. And then I have to join that, which barely have enough, but I have enough. That's good. And then I will fold it over to the front and we'll be getting this done. Okay, I'm not happy with that. So when I was doing my little, these pieces, I have some of this thread, but it's just a bobbin worth. And so I put the black on that side and I was happy with how it looked. And so I decided I was gonna do that with this, so that I had the color that matched back there instead of the black. But up here, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the pink or the fuchsia showing through. And I don't like that. So the question is, which is going to be worse? Do I have the black back here, which would be good for most things, but that means also I will have a black line in my label? Or do I have these little weird pink dots? I'm gonna have to take that out. So I'm gonna do some unstitching, get that out, change my bobbin back to black, and then start this over again. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, yep, liking that better. Glad I did that. Okay, now I felt like I missed, yeah, I have a little tiny spot right there that I missed the stitches. So I'm gonna go back over that. And then the binding's on. I just need to get those little ends tacked off. So that's what it looks like. That does go right through my label. That doesn't look great. I needed to get my stitching, plan where my stitching was so I had my words better lined up. But I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be on the wall and you're probably hardly ever going to see it. I do need to stitch these down so that, you know, it'll hold the rod that goes through there to hang it on the wall. So pretty much done, but not, you know, 100% done, 99% done. We'll get this done and then we'll hang it on the wall. Well, I got this quilt done. One more UFO off my list. Really excited about that. So this I called Woolly Flowers. I think I said this was a quilt along or a sew along by Through the Needle's Eye. And so you did these different woolly flowers and different embroidery stitches. It was a lot of fun to do. My only tricky part with it was I've used this fabric since I made this quilt top. So I didn't have any of it for the binding. So I don't have a huge selection of black. I had to go through and find what I had, and this is what I used. I took my options and laid them out on the floor, and Keith picked that one, and I thought, okay, fine, we'll just do it. So it's done. Yay for one more UFO off the list. Time to figure out what's next.